Hello, I'm Rudy Gesch. I'm Eastern Christian Schools Director of Marketing and Enrollment Management. I'm sitting here with our Chief Education Officer, Ruth Cooter. And this evening we just wanted to share a brief interview, just a brief time to talk through a lot of what's been going on around our remote learning plan and how the planning that our faculty has done before this time ties into that, and what our plans are moving forward. We really want this entire thing to be a conversation with our parents, so we've enabled an email address, so it's just EC Remote Learning, so EC Remote Learning, all one word, at easternchristian.org. So if you have other questions, you are certainly welcome to write in there. So Ruth, thank you for joining me this evening.
Happy to be here.
First question. What have we done to prepare for remote learning? We're all kind of looking at this thing. This is new, uncharted territory. We've been a school that's been around since 1892. Pretty sure maybe in 1918 we did some kind of remote learning with the Spanish flu, but on this particular occasion, what has our school done as we prepare for this situation?
So our administrators started preparing for remote learning several weeks ago, actually. And as part of that process, we've been working with teachers to improve their proficiency on Google Meet and Google Classroom through in-house professional development that's occurred over the course of the past several weeks. We have spent time preparing today, and we'll be spending more time tomorrow with teachers to help them get totally set up for starting school again on Wednesday. Our tech department has done a great job in getting our students geared up to go with passwords. For those students who needed devices and internet access, we have them all set to go so everybody can start strong on Wednesday morning. You know, in some ways, this preparation has been going on for years. We have worked very hard to ensure that our teachers are up to speed with the latest technology as it's used in education, and our students have been well equipped to be good digital citizens and to use the tools that we're equipping them with.
Great. So remote learning, I think we all have, as parents, we all have maybe different preconceived notions as to what this is. Maybe we've seen social media posts from other teachers or other parents or different people from around the country or even around the world as to what this thing is. For EC parents, what do we need to know about remote learning before we actually start this period in our school's calendar?
So there are a couple things that will be important for parents to know. First is that we are here to support you and your children as you go through this. We anticipate that there might be some bumps as we get this process started. There are also some terms that you might need to be aware of.
Vocabulary.
A little bit of vocabulary. So one term that's used in remote learning is synchronous learning. Synchronous learning happens when teachers and students meet and learn together at the same time. And so when teachers are running a Google Meet and their class is in session, that would be synchronous learning. Asynchronous learning refers to learning that happens individually and not at the same time. So as an example, a teacher might provide a pre-recorded lecture or a link to a video clip or an assignment. And when students do that kind of work, it's considered asynchronous learning. Two other terms that you will need to be familiar with are Google Classroom, and this is what is referred to in education as a learning management system, an LMS. This is where the teacher is going to organize the students' work and communication and collaboration. The other term is Google Meet or Google Hangout, and this is the online classroom where teachers and students will meet together for the synchronous portion of their day.
All right, so we've got our vocab in for the evening, and parents, we should know there's a whole alphabet soup around remote learning, so LMS, Learning Management System. We will do our absolute best to make sure we give you the full terms rather than, jumping right into the acronyms. So now the rubber's going to hit the road. It's going to be Wednesday morning, and okay, my kid is at home. I need to know what their day is going to look like. So maybe you could talk a little bit about what will a day look like for an Eastern Christian student during remote learning.
So as always, we take a developmentally appropriate approach to learning. So that day is going to look a little bit different for a preschool student than it will for a high school student. Our preschool families can expect that every morning they will have a synchronous session with the preschool teacher. That session will include devotions, circle time, attendance, and a small group activity, as well as some opportunities for ongoing learning and resources over the course of the day that parents can be involved with. For our elementary students, they will also have at least one synchronous session in the morning with their teacher that will include devotions, a morning meeting, and an overview of the learning ahead. For middle and high school age students, they're going to be following a schedule that's going to allow them to complete all the classes that they would normally complete in a slightly modified way. So at the beginning of each class, the teacher will take attendance, also begin with devotions, and provide them with some synchronous content, get them started on any asynchronous work.
So I noticed you said attendance a number of times there. So just like a normal school day, there will be attendance. So maybe you could walk us through, how do I know if my kid is on time to class, those types of things.
So you will be getting a schedule this evening that will tell you what the day is going to look like for each level. The teachers, as they take attendance, will be doing the same thing they normally would do. They'll be logging attendance on real time. And for students who are absent, someone from the school will be calling to check in to be sure that they can access the classroom electronically, to be sure that everyone is in good health, and to just make sure that everybody is healthy and well while they're away from school.
Very good.
You know, this schedule is really important. We know that students thrive with structured time, and their time could become somewhat unstructured at home. So a daily schedule will really help them organize their days so that learning can continue. And so we think that that's an important part of what we're providing here.
I think that routine and maybe the normalcy of a school day, you know, we're not going to have high school kids waking up at 11 a.m. And then getting to school when they feel like it. It's time to get to school and time to get to work. So
absolutely,
I think that'll be really valuable for our families. So it occurs to me that Eastern Christian School clearly is not the only school doing this, and there's a lot of schools nationwide and even around the world that are doing remote learning for the very first time here in 2020. So how is remote learning at Eastern Christian School different from, say, the remote learning that students might receive at other schools?
So we've given this a lot of thought. We really want to be sure that we are distinct in the way we offer remote learning. And as you can see from the mural behind me, everything that we do here is around our core values. And so I could talk a little bit about what that looks like. One of our core values is embracing community. Community consists of relationships. This is why we are going to have every student with the opportunity to interact face-to-face via Google Meet with their teacher and their classmates on a daily basis. We want to strive for excellence. Always we want to provide excellent teaching. Remote learning changes the means, but not the end. Our teachers are professionals, they are creative, and they have prepared for this with excellence. Their creativity, flexibility, and professionalism has been fantastic as we work through the planning process. We're serving others. Our staff members have been working literally around the clock to be sure that we are ready to go as we move to remote instruction on Wednesday. Develop responsibility. We are always helping our students become more independent, and students are going to be challenged in new ways to develop responsibility for their learning in this kind of environment. But we're confident that they're gonna rise to the occasion. We want to help our students in our community exhibit compassion, especially for families who might be experiencing some unique challenges in this time. And we are going to continue to seek truth. Faith integration is core to what we do. Our students are going to experience daily devotions. They will continue to be taught from a biblical worldview. We're going to provide opportunities for our school community to worship together, and we are going to continue to remind our students that God is sovereign.
Yeah, I would just echo what you said, certainly about our faculty and our leadership. The preparation has just been incredible, and I do think it's pretty amazing just thinking, even from a Reformed perspective of God being sovereign, as you said, over all of creation, that, here in 2020, we have the tools to be able to do this and the creative and professional faculty to be able to pull this off. So I'm actually really excited to see how things go on Wednesday, and really looking forward to this new opportunity. Moving forward, I'm sure as things go along, parents are going to have questions, no doubt. What's the best avenue for parents to reach out, and how can they have those questions answered?
So parents can definitely reach out to the building administrator for each campus. They're willing, able, and prepared to answer any questions.
Great. Here's the question that I'm sure is going to be on our mind now, but then definitely as this time of remote learning takes place. When do you think we'll return to school, not just school in a remote context, but the physical building? When will we be back?
So we want to get back to campus as soon as we safely can. For your planning purposes, that is likely to be after spring break.
Spring break, so there's the million-dollar question. Will we still get a spring break?
Yes. You can plan to take some much-needed rest the week of April 6th through 10. While learning never ends, school will not take place during spring break.
And lastly, what can parents do to support the school during this time? We've already received just a real outpouring of positive words and we know prayer, but maybe you could just talk a little bit more on what families can do to help support the school.
Sure. So I think encouraging one another, I think responding to needs as they emerge. I think considering a contribution to the Angel Fund to support our most economically vulnerable families. And finally, pray for our school leadership, faculty, and staff.
Well, Ruth, thank you very much for joining me and joining our extended EC community this evening. We'll look forward to answering even more questions that our parents have during an online Q&A. Again, EC Remote Learning at easternchristian.org, and we'll look forward to answering those questions. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.